What's up, everybody? This is the Nerd Cave Podcast, episode 100, 244. We went back 100.
No, it's just 100 plus 100 plus 44, and that's the episode number.
Yes.
Do math, people.
Yeah, math, like we do in Dungeons and Dragons. If you don't know, my name's Zach Dykes, and I'm joined along with the bearded sultan himself.
Robbie Ross.
The married bearded sultan himself.
No, first time back on as a married man. It's been a few crazy weeks getting
Does it feel different?
It does. I feel
Have
more
you?
adult, more like...
I'm sure you're still in the phase of my wife, and that feels weird.
It does.
Yeah,
It does. It's so, my God. Like, I was like... We ran into somebody. I was like, "This is my fiance wife, Holly."
Yeah.
I'm like,
Could you go through the stages of this is my girlfriend to this is my fiance, and once you get used to that, then it changes into your wife.
yeah.
And it's like, this is very odd.
Yeah, so like, I've just been just randomly just saying it over and over and over again, just so it like gets ingrained. I'm like, "Hey, wife, how are you?" It's like,
Yeah.
"Hey, good morning, wife."
Did you do the thing where it's like, oh, this is our first meal as a married couple, or this is all part of it.
It's all the sappy mushy
Adorable. Good.
And we're joined along with our dungeon master herself.
Allie. It's coming back, guys. I promise.
Yeah. We're going to be putting out episode 2 of Nerd Caves and Dragons and episode 3.
Yeah, episode 3. Because those are both late. All of it's late.
This week for Patreon, and then everything will start rolling back out normally.
There's been a lot of stuff. Like, I've been really busy, and then the laptop hasn't been wanting to work. But I figured out the workaround, so we're all good, and I think everything will be good now.
Yeah, it'll all work out. So, if you want to catch those episodes, we do have the first episode out, which is essentially 3 hours. If you really want to get down to it,
It's split up into 2. I think it totals to be about 2 hours, 45 minutes, maybe a little less.
So about 3 hours, everybody, for the first episode.
Probably closer to like
part
2.5
1,
hours.
Part 2. Check it out. It's really, really good. A lot of fun. I know the episode 2 and 3, like we're getting more into our characters and everything.
That's the thing is, like, I really want episode 2 and 3 to come out because episode 2 and 3 are actually like really good.
Yeah, we're actually remembering things. And
Yeah, we know how to play at that point.
And I forgot about the.
I mean, we still butcher each other's names.
Sure, but that's the charm now.
Fun.
I forgot about. I won't just because I won't spoil anything. I forgot about the competition that gets brought up. You guys go to.
Oh yeah. Like I watched. You had given me a copy.
It was like
of
the first half of it. I think.
And
worked.
it was like, portion of the way through, like it was playing, and then it just stops. It was like 30 minutes in, and I'm just like, 'cause I was like having a good time just watching it and everything.
I've had a few people who've watched it come up to me and they're like, "Man, like I've been waiting for you guys to do some Dungeons and Dragons." And I had another person who was like, "Man, he's like the banter between like you and Zach is just hilarious." I was like, that's every day.
Yeah.
It's coming back. We've been sitting on episode 2 and 3 for a couple weeks now. I think
Yeah.
it's just because it just hasn't, like, I've tried everything, and like you said, like it would play and it would just stop. Sometimes it would, like, the video wouldn't go anymore. Sometimes it would just go black. Sometimes the audio wasn't working. Like, it was just, but it's gonna work this time.
It's gonna work this time, and that will be going out to all the Patreon supporters and everything. So if you want to get it early, I know you've been waiting, everybody.
Now you're getting it late. Sorry.
Yes, but you're getting it before all.
You're getting it early
compared
relative to other people.
Yes. So all you got to do is toss $1 over at patreon.com/nerdcave. Check it out there. You get both episodes. You'll be getting both of them this week.
And then next week, hopefully, to kind of get things back on schedule, I think episode 4 and 5 will come out as well.
We'll see.
If it works. If not, they'll come out soon. But things will be getting back on track soon.
Don't give dates.
Yeah, don't give dates.
That's what I said. Hopefully, not for certain. I said hopefully.
It'll be coming out
soon.
Yeah, it's coming out
in the near future.
Spring 2018.
Yeah. So we're working on that. And if you haven't already, if you love video games, and I know video games is not really a huge topic on this show anymore because we have Nerd Cave Plus. We go live each and every Tuesday and Thursday around 7 o'clock and talk about all the video game news that you need to know. Me and Allie had a really good episode this past Thursday.
I feel bad. I don't remember it at all.
Jump in at points here and there, but I want to go back and rewatch it. But
yeah,
hopefully I can.
I'm actually listening to that show to like get better. I think one of the things that I really enjoyed about that show was the questions we got from viewers and everything. Yeah, we got 3 questions in that episode, and
one of them was really like. It was like
actually,
almost like a survey. It was a survey of questions.
It was 2 Derek Daniels questions, so you know how those are.
I loved them. I'm just kidding. I loved them.
It took 20 minutes to read them, and then you had to answer.
It took 20 minutes to read it. Got to cut it down and then answer.
But him and Nick asked some questions, and you can ask some questions if you watch the show and all that good stuff. So, if you haven't already, this podcast comes to you early on Mondays. And then segment by segment, day by day, until we give it to you on Friday on YouTube podcast services around the world. Man, I haven't said that in a long time. That feels very weird. Feels very weird. So if you want to get it early, you can go over to patreon.com and get it early. Audiocast. Podcast. And video on demand and everything. So let's get right into it, man. You're married now.
I'm married.
I know we teased it at the beginning. You're married now.
I am.
Hashtag spoiler.
I mean, the honeymoon was really good. Monday we got to go see Black Panther.
Oh, so good.
Yeah.
And
haven't watched.
We actually before that we went and had breakfast at the Ruby Slipper.
Yeah, man.
Oh, that place is so good.
I was like, Zach was talking about these monster pancakes, and I love pancakes. And she's like, "What do you want to go to eat this morning?" I was like, "Ruby Slipper."
I'm sure she loved it too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was good.
Yeah. Did you get the pancakes?
I did.
Were they big?
I couldn't finish it.
I know, man. Like you get through 2 of them, there's another one sitting there, and you're like, "I'm taking that home."
That guy was like, "I don't know why they give them 3." I was like, "Because nobody eats them." He gets left all alone. I was like, "Man, I know." I was like.
I took last time I went, like I ate the 2, and then I took 1 home and gave it to Amy.
I guarantee that's why they do it, is because like they want you to take it home, so it's like everyone can taste it and be like, "That's amazing. We gotta go get some."
They're fluffy too.
They're very fluffy.
Yeah, whenever I went, I think I had like some kind of like eggs Benedict. I didn't have the pancake, but what I had was very good.
But the honeymoon quickly came to an end Wednesday.
Mm-hmm. You had surgery on your teeth.
A wisdom tooth and a crown. Wisdom tooth taken out and a crown put in.
That is a full day.
It was. I slept the whole rest of that day. Thursday, I tried to recoup as much as I could, but I still could. Not very talky, which is why I didn't go to Nerd Cave Plus on Thursday. Mm-hmm. I wanted to. I was like, maybe I'll be good enough. I didn't even stay 30 minutes Friday at Pensacon, and I left. And I'll normally. We'll go around Friday and spend most of my day at Pensacon, and I spent 30 minutes.
Pensacon was last weekend.
Yeah, so that wasn't fun. But everything with the wisdom tooth going good. I ended up having muscle spasm here.
That's
and it was like
fun.
a huge knot on my face that anytime it touched, it hurt like fire. So I went to that Monday when I got back to work. I ended up going back to the dentist, and she was like, "Oh, it's just a muscle spasm where your mouth was open for an hour and a half," because they didn't put me to sleep or knock me out. They just gave me some numbing stuff to pull my tooth. And I'll admit it, I cried. And the seat was completely soaked with sweat.
Oh, I can imagine. I can imagine, man.
I have never felt that much pain in my life.
Man, they better put me out.
Cause
they better put me out, or I'm going to probably hurt
somebody. I texted
somebody.
my friends. They were like, "Dude, they didn't put you out." I was like, I talked to like 15 different people, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we were all put under."
Yeah.
I was like,
I'm surprised they didn't put you under.
Yeah.
Who did you go to?
Yeah, really, who'd you go to? Don't go to them.
I will not be going to them.
Yeah, really.
Because you like I have never hyperventilated in my life.
Yeah.
But halfway through, I started hyperventilating. They had to stop and like do the little blowy thing on my face, and they're like, "It's okay."
Yeah, we're just testing to see your pain endurance.
Yeah.
That Monday, I came back, and she's like, "It's a muscle spasm." She's like, "I'm gonna have to massage it out," and I was like, oh, massage. That sounds nice.
No.
She's like, I'm like, I'm sitting here like, I'm like gripping the chair. She's like, is it hurting? I'm like, yeah. She's like, I'm sorry, but it just has to be this way. She starts like, she's making freaking pancakes or something, squashing out that flat. I was like,
She's making hamburger patties.
no, yeah, I have to have 3 other taken out at a later date, and if she can't put me under, I'm like, thank you for your time. I'll find a
Yeah, I'll go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Man. Go to Fishbone or whatever his
fish
name.
bin.
Fishbone.
Fish bin. It's fish bin, but I
Yeah.
call it fish bin.
Yeah.
Fish bean.
Yeah. Go to him.
But I mean, still, the honeymoon was fun. You know, got to go to Pensacon with everybody. You know, talk to some people about Nerd Cave. That's fun. Talk to JDF. I'm hoping next year they kind of relax a little bit on like the interview side of things, like maybe before Pensacon, because that's what we always did.
Like I think they definitely screwed the pooch on that because they wouldn't allow anybody that was not like a major news outlet to interview anybody. Like that was the rule.
Yeah.
And like the reason Derek got to interview Claudia Gray is because he got approved from Lucasfilm to interview her like before the con. If that wouldn't have happened, he wouldn't have got the interview.
Yeah, and like, you know, we've spent hours and hours, you know, not only at Pensacon but also editing videos and
You know, and it's free publicity for them. So sorry about that, everybody.
I mean, we've had multiple videos from Pensacon reach multiple thousands of views. I mean, but I think that, you know, during the day, yeah, I can understand that. But like what we always did was we would go.
Yeah, we would try to do it before
or their slow day.
Yeah. Yeah, or grab them right after a panel or something like that.
Bust into a kitchen and get them out.
Oh yeah, man.
just like in their hotel room, like knock the door down.
That's
Hey, what are you doing?
That's literally what Robbie did. He busted into the kitchen.
We had talked to them. They're like, yeah, we'll do a interview right after the panel. And like me and Zach were sitting on the front row, and they got done, and they were walking.
Their
out,
handlers were taking them out.
And Zach was like, well, there goes that. I was like, boom. I was like, hey guys, y'all still have time for that interview? They're like, oh yeah. And they came right back out.
Very interesting interview, man. Very interesting interview. I felt like a fish out of water, but they made the interview really good.
They did. I mean, it's still fun to watch. Like, I mean,
especially Tarbay. Like he hammed it up.
Yeah, he did. He did really good. But I mean, I'm hoping next year. I was thinking about messaging Kat just to kind of see if they can't rework the policy, because I mean, there's a lot of people. You know, there's even I think his name's Holden. He did the he might be from Pensacola if you like.
Yeah.
Like he's a pretty big name around here now too, and like it's kind of just hurting everybody's, like the local podcast who's helped.
Well, I understand where they're coming from, because there are some people that do not go to the care that we have, and they will have their stuff all in the way, and they'll be taking up space and everything. So I understand where they're coming from.
Oh yeah, me too.
But they need to work something out.
Yeah.
You know,
like we've been with them since year
the
one.
beginning. Yeah. I don't know. Allie, how was your Pensacon?
I really only went Saturday.
The busiest day.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Because my friends, a few of my friends were competing in the contest, and one of my friends got first place in Journeyman. So
was that the guy who dressed up as Cell?
No, Journeyman. It's like novice Journeyman masters.
Okay. Yeah,
she was dressed up like a Death Knight from World of Warcraft.
She
looked really
a
cool.
Kid from Jay came, and he was dressed as Cell.
It was perfect Cell, actually. Excuse you.
Oh, Cell. Okay, I got you.
Yeah,
Perfect Cell.
And it was.
I saw pictures of it.
He got first place in novice, I believe.
Oh, he did.
I think he was a novice.
Yeah, but I mean, his stuff still looked really good.
No, yeah, he looked really good.
Like, Goku even came up and was talking to him and everything like that.
That's cool.
That was
That's
really cool.
Yeah, like they had some pretty interesting people there, like celebrities on it. Like I would have loved to meet like Goku.
Yeah.
I think that Chris Sabbath like had something or wasn't able to come because
I didn't know what happened.
I'm not sure. There was a lot of big names that weren't able to come, but they already have their dates and everything. But any other stuff from your Saturday there, Allie?
My friend who dressed up like Zarya, she got stopped like every like 5 minutes, or not every 5, excuse me, every 5 inches, not minutes, inches. Like walk picture, and she's like, guys, I'm so sorry. And we're like, no, like it's fine. Like we understood that you were gonna get stopped for pictures, but also like she has like the huge like photon cannon or whatever it's called. It's like her huge weapon, and so she's like carrying that around. Like it's all made of like foam and like PVC pipe, but it's a lot of it. So like when you hold it for a long time, it gets kind of heavy.
Yeah.
But also like she like got like real buff for this outfit or the cosplay or whatever. So she's like, it's nothing to her. But yeah, no, like it was a lot of fun. I'm trying to like remember that because it feels like it was so long ago.
Speaking of Pensacon, did y'all hear about what happened to the speed dating people?
No, do tell. Good gossip.
The sci-fi speed dating. I believe it's sci-fi speed dating.
Yeah, it's sci-fi speed dating.
They are no longer able to come to Pensacon.
Really? That's a surprise. Why?
There was one of the, I guess, the higher ups that were there that weekend was majorly sexually harassing a co-worker through sci-fi speed dating. And you see the girls walking around with the sci-fi speed dating in super skimpy outfits. But once again, cosplay is not consent. And, you know, those signs are everywhere. Yeah. And joking, not joking, it's all the same. Don't do it. And so, like, it hit the news and everything like that. And I'm assuming it was Mike Inslee posted through Pensacon stating that, you know, that vendor will not be allowed back at Pensacon.
What a shocker.
So, yeah, I'm glad that they took the stand against it.
Yeah, definitely.
But it shouldn't have never taken place in the first place.
Yeah, absolutely not. Yeah, I could have called that a mile away. I have some grievances, Pensacon, that I will not get into.
Yeah.
But yeah. Because like these grievances went into like essentially like 3 or 4 hours worth of rants with my friends. We were very, very upset with some stuff that they did. But it's one of those. It didn't turn out to be as bad as we thought. But there were still some things, and also like the way that they handled some stuff. It was very gross and unprofessional when you really like read between the lines of it. But
now was it Pensacon or was it?
It was Pensacon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't go.
Like one thing that I really like going there, and you know how we're usually 90-0 the entire time there, going there as just like talking to the normal.
Yeah, like
people.
you can't get interviews or anything,
like,
so it's just
I felt completely like useless and like out of place.
Yeah, what the norm of what it's been.
Yeah. Because I mean, a lot of my hands were tied. Like I was still able to talk to people and I kind of work that angle, but like it's still weird.
Yeah, I didn't have time to go, and when it came and went, like the only and this is probably the funniest part. The only thing that I really wanted, like didn't know that was there that made me want to go there was the guys from Mighty Boosh. I was just like,
oh yeah.
I was like, what? I didn't know they were there. But yeah, like, it was just kind of like, all right. It didn't really affect me. Like,
yeah.
No.
I think I had a pretty good weekend.
Honestly, it had, because like I had some friends came in from out of town, and then 3 of them competed in the contest. If it was not for that, I wouldn't have gone.
Like, and nothing against Pensacon for anybody.
No,
Like,
I mean, I love Pensacon.
It just feels
fun. It's a fun
lot
time.
different than it used to.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep my mouth shut.
Now some of it's for the best. Some people that I've talked to, some of the kids that I teach and everything, they said that was their favorite one. So
I had a lot of fun. I really did. Also during the contest, because whenever the judges are deliberating who they've chosen, that's what prejudging is for. They already know who won. Like they do some stage presence judging, but like that's the point of prejudging. Like,
yeah.
Anyway, because like they'll go off stage and then they wait like forever. Like in a weirdly long amount of time.
It's to build tension. That's all
yeah,
it is.
but it's like in the past they've had a tap group called Noise Complaint perform. This year they had Noise Complaint, an a cappella group whose name I don't remember, and it was the Gulf Breeze Lightsaber Fighting Academy or something.
No, Gulf Coast Lightsaber
Gulf Coast. Oh, okay,
Academy.
okay. I knew it was Gulf
Breeze.
something.
There ain't nothing over here like that, man.
I heard
No.
Gulf and I was like, oh, Gulf Breeze. Okay.
Gulf Coast. I have a few friends who do it.
Okay. No, like yeah, like their thing. They were really really cool.
Oh yeah. I watched their videos.
They had like the thing that they presented. It was like they had someone come out like in like Ray's outfit or whatever, and so it was like Ray was training, and then like she would stop, and then because it was like the saber fights throughout like all the different movies, and then it was like they'd have a fight, and then they'd go off, and then she'd keep training, and she would like it was really cool how they kept doing that, and then eventually they came out, and it was like they're like the younger group doing like just different like poses, or like, not younger, but like the more like novice group, and then the more advanced group came out, and like they would do all this stuff, and it was really really cool, and then I was sitting next to a friend and he was like, oh my gosh, they're gonna do like the duel with Darth Maul, and I was like, oh, they're gonna do the duel with Darth Maul, and so like this girl came out and she had this really cool like purple thing in her hair, like it was, I don't know, it was very like early 2000s like kind of like punk girl looking kind of hair. I don't know, something about it. It was cool. Anyway,
Yeah.
But like they went hardcore on it, and she was awesome. We were like, whoa! And also we were like, we weren't in the very front row, but we were like in the second row, like in front of the stage on the side. So we were like right there, and we're like, oh, this is so cool.
Yeah, they do some really cool stuff.
Yeah, no, yeah, they did.
It.
Oh, and then there was one part though. It's a fight. It's one of the parts of the fight between Anakin and Obi-Wan, and this kid in like a black morph suit came out, and he was like they're like force throw rocks, and so the kid like picked up the rocks and like chucked them at the guy, and it was the funniest thing. like the morph kid, like whenever they all came out on stage, whenever the kid in the morph suit came out, everyone was like, woo! It was really funny. So yeah, like that was a lot of fun. But yeah, like it was fun. Just they've, I'm just gonna stop.
So, Wreck-It Ralph.
Yeah.
Put out a new trailer. Wreck-It Ralph 2 internet.
Breaking.
Yeah, Ralph breaks the internet or something like that.
Wreck-It Ralph 1 thought was really good.
Loved it.
It's a really fun movie.
Definitely
King Candy.
King Candy, Mario Kart, that sort of deal and everything. Thought was awesome. They released a new trailer for the second one this week, where Ralph and
Pep. Does her name like
Sarah Silverman's character goes into the internet.
Lollipop? No.
I'm looking it up.
Candy
Candy Kid.
Goes into the internet and everything. And we see a lot of internet culture, the pop-ups.
That was so
Hey,
funny.
you're a winner.
You're a winner. And then, you won't believe what happens next.
Yeah.
I always hate those when you get on there. You've just won a free Amazon gift card. I hate you. Go
I hate
away.
you because I know
And
you're
then you
full
have
of
to
lies.
go out and then you go back in like that. The whole website, like you can't read what the article is, so you're like whatever at that point. But the trailer was really good. I thought it did a really good job of doing everything. I'm curious to see what the antagonist is.
Virus.
Yeah, I was gonna say just an internet virus.
I think they're going to go a little bit deeper. If y'all remember Zootopia dealt a very, very deep way of approaching racism.
Yeah, I thought they did a really they presented it in a way that was both understandable. It was understandable to like all ages.
Yes, definitely.
To approach a subject that they did address.
Just because they're different from you doesn't make them bad or anything like that.
And do it in a way that doesn't ignite anything,
It
hopefully fixes some of those things.
And Wreck-It Ralph 2 is made by the same people who made Zootopia. So.
Also, the character's name, her name is Vanellope von Schweetz.
Okay, Sarah Silverman's the character.
Vanellope von Schweetz.
So I'm hoping that they address internet culture, the bad internet culture.
That'll probably come up.
Live in, and
like the trolls and everything.
Trolls and all of that stuff, and how to react in the internet, because everybody in this day and age, especially if you're growing up now, you're involved in the internet in some way.
Oh yeah.
And I'm sure that's going to come into that. I'm really curious to see how they do it.
Yeah. I think that will definitely be a point of it. I don't think that's going to be like the main like villainy focus.
No. I don't think so either. But I think it's going to be the overtone for the movie.
Now,
I can see it.
Like going off what you said about like how to deal with internet culture. Like I know. I've reacted great to some, and
we've both,
because I know there's been times when I've been like, Zach, just let it go, and there's been times where I have something typed up, and you're just like, man, just think about what you doing,
or when you posted it, why'd you post that, bro?
Like, I mean, there is a way to do it, and like really, that person cares nothing about what you're saying to them. They just want to spark that.
Oh yeah, they want a reaction to you.
And I think Wreck-It Ralph could show the younger culture how to deal with it. And like I said, I think it's going to be hilarious, especially the little kid game where
the pancakes and the milkshakes.
The rabbit gets the pancake, and it's just like the last pancake where it's just like.
I'm curious to see, because like I know this is supposed to take place like it's closer to like I guess like the beginning of the internet or something. Or at least like they showed it a little bit.
I think it's more of like modern internet, but it's like they're from this arcade.
Right.
Arcade
Yes.
Is
yeah, because a kid had an iPad. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Anything like that.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm curious. I would be really interested to see if they address net neutrality in it.
Yeah.
Because I could see them doing that.
Maybe that's the enemy.
That's what I'm thinking is like it's a possibility. I don't know if it will, just because I don't know when they wrote the script.
Yeah.
But
there's always changes.
Yeah,
but
you
it
can always
looks
change
good.
stuff.
It
looks good. Looks fun.
I'm curious to see what they all bring in, because the first Wreck-It Ralph did a phenomenal job of bringing different properties together, like from all different generations, from all different companies. The Mouse Corporation does a fantastic job.
The evil mouse overlord.
That you don't think, you won't see these characters ever together. Wreck-It Ralph did it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like, spurring off of that, another movie, and I want to say it comes out this month or maybe next month.
You're talking about Ready Player One?
Yeah.
It comes out. I just saw the trailer for it a couple days ago. I shouldn't.
But anyway, that's another movie that I'm excited.
I was gonna
for.
say, like, speaking of
like,
that. Oh yeah, go ahead.
Seeing the Iron Giant kicking people around.
Yeah.
You're gonna. I've seen Battletoads. I've seen Ryu from Street Fighter, Chun-Li.
There's a
Deathstroke.
bunch of people from there's a bunch of Spartans running at one point in time.
Like I've read the book, so like I know that there's why you're seeing Gundams in there and different things like that.
It comes out March 29th. Whenever my friends and I went and saw Black Panther on Friday.
Wakanda Forever.
Oh, so good. The script in that movie I loved it.
Oh my god.
But actually there was one scene in that movie. I'll talk about that later. But I guess it was the first time my friend had seen the trailer for Ready Player One, and it's part like you see Tracer, and she's like, "Oh my, that was Tracer," and I was like,
Like.
Apparently, someone pointed out like it's kind of hard to see, but like they freeze framed that, and you can it could not be this, but it kind of looks like Mercy's wing in the back, but it's hard to tell. I'm like, if she's in there, that's really cool.
There's a lot of pop culture characters with angel wings, but
that's the thing. So I'm like, I don't know if it's her or not.
I mean, there's a lot of things in there. It looks like it was a great book, so I'm sure. I think Steven Spielberg's directing it. I think with his guidance, I think it's going to be a smash hit, because who doesn't want to go see Iron Giant, Gundams, Battletoads,
Spartans,
the
Heroes.
Mach 5, all in the in the same movie.
Yeah, and this month, not just that movie comes out, but Tomb Raider comes out this month as well. and it looks really good.
It does. And I think you're gonna see, because I think, what was it? Was it Angelina Jolie?
Yeah, she did the original Tomb Raider. movies.
Yeah. I think you're gonna. I think it's gonna be leaps. And
Oh,
bounds
yeah.
better than that one. I think you're gonna see more of the style of Lara Croft that we've seen in these last couple of games. More of like the figuring out like detective side, but also it shows the survival side that she has to, do what she has to do.
Yeah. I'm very excited for that one because it's going to be very close to the reboot of the franchise and everything, which I absolutely loved. So, 2 good movies this month, and eventually
there's another movie coming out. I mean, it's not a video game movie, but Wrinkle in Time's coming out this week.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I never read the book.
Galifianakis and
Yes, it does. I was like, when I saw that, I was like, huh. But like, it won me over with like, it was like the first trailer that they released of it, and it was like they had this really cool like remix cover, because it's not the original cover of the song, but of the Sweet Dreams.
Yeah.
Like just like the way that they like really intensified and stuff. I think it looks really cool.
Now, I know you haven't seen this movie, but I know she has. Black Panther is killing it at the box office right now.
So good.
Yeah.
Like I said, I did gave my impressions of the movie after I saw it. It's on our YouTube at Nerd Cave. The music.
Oh, yes.
The music of this stood out. I think, I want to say, I'm not 100% sure. I think, wasn't it Kendrick Lamar that helped with music on this?
I don't remember.
Because, I mean, it had a lot of the
Yeah.
R&B, like, rap feel to it. But it mixed that, and it mixed African culture.
Yeah.
It was a beautiful mix. And also... Was it Kendrick Lamar?
I'm sorry, I'm looking
I
at it.
thought you were like, yeah, what?
No,
But
I was agreeing with you.
also, the attire, like what they were wearing, was more like urban, up to time, but also some traditional like
Yeah.
Yeah, like it was really cool how they mixed like traditional African like clothing and like garments and stuff with the more like modern, and then like a little bit of like sci-fi, because they do have very advanced technology.
Yeah.
It was really cool to see how they like mixed that. And then like there's the one tribe where like they have these really cool like capes on, where like, okay, that's like their culture, like that's what they wear, and then it turns out it's actually like a shield, and you're like, what?
They're like the phalanx. It's like where you pull it up. Yeah. There's also the other tribe where their leaders, the dude with like the big like lip thing in. But it's like emerald green, but he also wears like this super tight like emerald green like suit.
Yeah, it's got like a nice suit on him.
Like, I mean, and Michael B. Jordan, best villain Marvel has had.
I saw an interview with Chadwick Boseman, the guy who plays T'Challa, and he was saying how like, yes, like he's like the bad guy of the movie, but he's like, this is him. He's like, I don't think that there's like a villain in this movie, because he's like, we're like T'Challa and the character's name, what's his name again? I can't remember. Michael Killmonger, yes. He's like, he came from a different background. Like they're two sides of the same coin.
His name is Killmonger. I think he's the bad guy.
No. The thing's like, yes, like he's a bad guy, but like
he's got motivations. And
yes, he has motivation. Like you can really sympathize with him. It's like, are his motive, like, is what he's doing right? No, not necessarily, but like you understand his rationale because of how he gets there.
The guy who played in Sherlock, he was
What Sherlock?
The
Robert Downey Jr. or
Martin Freeman.
Yeah.
His character was really fun. And like he kind of gives you an idea of why they call him Killmonger, because he's the one that goes in and like destabilizes a nation. Like, and that's it kind of ties in, and like you see he has like these little like marks, like these little brand tattoo things all over his arm. And he's like, this is for every one of my confirmed kills. And you're like, oh, he has a sleeve. Homeboy takes his shirt off to fight T'Challa, and they're like all over his body. You're like, dang.
Okay, yeah, it was Kendrick Lamar.
And I was like, you've been busy.
Yeah, I mean, like he's definitely like the bad guy of the movie, but like he was a very like realistic character.
Yeah, like when you have a good villain, they are the hero of their own story.
Yes, that's exactly what he said. He was like, you should be the hero in your own story. Like, you should be the hero of your own story. So, yeah, I mean, that's like exactly what Bozeman said.
Yeah.
But
I'm curious to watch it. Eventually, I'll get around to it.
I was so scared. I was
watched Thor Ragnarok.
I mean, I can give you the login to my.
We'll talk.
we'll talk. Shh. Yeah, I was so, because like I've just been so busy. I was so scared I wasn't gonna get to see it in theaters, and I really wanted to. So when I finally got the chance to, I was really happy.
Yeah. Like, I know a lot of people have been praising it highly for a lot of things. The female cast as well being very strong is something I've been reading a lot about.
Yeah, I even talked about that. Like, you'd never see, the leader of
the general.
Like when she's going up against Killmonger, you never, and she's holding her own. Like, you don't normally see, I mean, she could essentially be like a lead character herself.
I would love to see a spinoff movie about the general. That would be amazing.
She was in it, and like a lot of stuff tied in with her. And her and three of her little people, army ladies or whatever they are fighting, and it just see that much, that many
strong female characters.
I mean, that movie did a lot of things right.
There's some stuff they didn't do right. I won't get into that on here. I'm just like, it was one of those, like, I knew that they weren't going to do it. Let's just say there's something in the comics that was representative of something else, but they didn't do it in the movie. But I'm not surprised they didn't.
Don't know what you're talking about, but we can talk about
it. I'll talk about it off screen. Just because I don't want to start stuff. Anyway.
Yeah.
But no, it's a weird thing, 'cause, like, they didn't shove it down your throats that this was a Marvel movie. They weren't, because in a lot of the other Marvel movies, it's like, oh, I wonder what my friend Captain America is doing. Like, they name drop a lot, and this one they're just kind of like, you guys know, like, it's fine, whatever.
Yeah.
And I realized it was one of those, like, it felt like a Marvel movie, but in a very different way, and it was really refreshing. Like, it's probably one of, if not my favorite Marvel movie so far.
Yeah, it ranked up.
It's definitely it's up there for me.
Nice. So, to totally change subjects and to totally change the mood of the show, how much time do we have left? So
we have about 15 minutes.
Okay, awesome. February the 14th, we had a shooting in Florida at Stoneman
Lakeland.
Stoneman Douglas.
Douglas Stonehill. Stone.
Look it up.
Jeez.
It was a high school in Parkland, Florida.
I remember going home I caught the tail end of it happening live on TV. I turned on the TV and it would happen to be on the news, and that was what was there, and I was oh my goodness.
I went to a professional development in Milton, and as I was driving home, I saw stuff start popping up on my Facebook or whatever, so I started listening in, and the first thing that I saw was a video from a student in the classroom. The classroom, and that was such a
Stoneman Douglas.
Yeah, Stoneman Douglas. That was just such a surreal moment, and there's a lot of things. The more we've gotten out of this, we've seen FBI might have known about it, cops not going in, et cetera, all of this gun debate and everything. And the big thing that I'm hearing more and more of is how to protect the schools or this, that, or the other. And it seems like we're getting away from what's really going on, and there are people that are trying to spin things to help their political views or whatever.
All the time that happens. And
it comes down to this young gentleman. I don't even know his name. Don't want to know his name. He had problems. He had some serious problems, and his mother passed away. Recently. I think his father, I don't know if he was in the picture or whatever, he might have passed away too. He was a foster kid. like, and somebody took him in and everything. And I'm not excusing what he did by any means. No. But he was bullied in school, and there was several things that happened. And when people are attacked and not loved, there's myriad of things that they can choose to do. And I think our society has a huge problem right now. If it's not like you, and if it's not, doesn't have the same views or the same this, that, or the other, and it goes back to internet culture we were talking about earlier, you go after it and you attack it like nobody's business.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that's why we have so many shootings in our country right now. That there is not enough love that is given freely to people. That people feel like they are being judged every second of the day. What are your thoughts on that?
First off, I would like to say, a big, 2 thumbs up to Dick's Sporting Goods and Walmart for what they did.
Oh,
They've
yeah, for
raised the age limit to 21, and
I thought Dick's Sporting Goods, they just weren't selling it anymore, right?
They've raised. They're no longer selling ARs.
ARs, oh, okay.
But they did raise the age limit to where they cannot buy guns until they're 21.
Yeah. Like it should
they've
be.
also taken the 30-round cartridges. There's no more of that you can buy at Dick's or Walmart. So good job to that.
No, I greatly approve of that.
I go back. It all falls on mental health. Like if you feel like if you're being told you're nothing, you're going to believe you're nothing. And I feel like what can be done in the schools. I think you should have more training on how to because there's some teachers there are some teachers who are great with their students. They can see a student that needs something, and they go for it. And there's some teachers who don't have that, and they don't understand how to do it.
Yeah, it's just a job to them. And real quick, students also have to, instead of letting somebody in your class pick on somebody, students have to stand up for it. And teachers, I've seen teachers in my career that just let things go by.
I mean, I've seen them. What little bit I've worked in school systems and going to school, I've seen it. Ours was, shake hands, and go about your business. Like there was no real punishment. But I think, I think it definitely starts at home. And if you can't catch it at home, then it's definitely in the schools. If you see someone acting in a way that looks like it could potentially lead to something, go let somebody know. That doesn't mean that these kids are going to be taken out of the school and they're going to be, ostracized or anything like that. But it does let other people show some love to that kid. Like, ask, because a lot of times it could just be like, there's so much built up. All it takes is, hey, how you doing? Anything you want to, talk about, get off your chest, that could alleviate so much right there. But, nowadays, like, if it's not your problem, you don't worry about it. And, like, you could see someone hurting, and I'm not saying everybody's like that. I know for the most, I know all of us are pretty empathetic. Like, it hurts me to see someone else hurt.
Yeah.
But, like, if someone would just take a little bit of extra time out of their day and show some love, God loves us all the time. I mean, there's no reason why we can't show that love to other people.
Yeah, I agree 100% on that, man.
So, all I got to say is, see somebody, love somebody. I don't meet a stranger. Like, I can talk to somebody that I've just met and pretend, and it's like they're my friend that I've known since kindergarten. And I always treat people the way I want to be treated, and that can go a long way. So, if you see someone hurting, just reach out a hand. You never know when that's going to save their life or potentially save other people's lives.
Yep. Alan, what about you?
Going back to the beginning, I think that like the whole bullying, mental illness definitely is a factor for a lot of different shootings that occur. There are other instances for other things, of course. But I think it was actually on Instagram. It was Cardi B, which I don't know all that much about her. I think she's like a singer.
She's a musician.
Okay. She actually like I was just like on like the explore page and it popped up. And she was saying like, you know, even if it's not, she's like, you know, all you kids in high school, like you talk about all this different stuff. She's like, you know, like you can help prevent this. Like she was, I'm trying to remember exactly what she said. She was like, you know, even if you don't, like you never plan on talking to this person again, or even if like, you know, maybe you're not the biggest fan of that person, or even if you don't like their shoes, just be like, hey, you know, just give them a compliment. Like even if like even if it's not like your favorite thing in the world, like even if you don't mean it all that much, you know, just them hearing it could go a long way. Which I thought was I thought it was really cool that, you know, I don't know all that much about her, but I know that she's a more like a recent star, and so like
but kids,
and like, but like the thing is like I know that kids talk about her, and so kids are gonna listen to her, and the fact that she came out and said that I don't know what the right word for that is, impressed, I guess, by that. But yeah, it's tough when you see stuff like this. Actually, this reminded me at Pensacon, one of the MCs, I feel bad, I don't remember his name. He was saying, he actually, before the contestants came back out, he was like, no, this is going to bring I don't want to bring everyone down, but I want to have like a few 10-second silence. And he went back to the whole love thing because it was a family that he's very close with, like they took him in or something. I believe he said it was one of the nieces. She went to that high school and she did not come home. And so, you know, of course, everyone of the singer, you know, just totally dead silent. He's kind of cracking a few jokes here and there, but we could tell like it was mostly for him. Like he obviously
that's how they cope.
Yeah, he was choking up, so it was mostly so he wouldn't cry. And so of course we're like, oh god, no. But yeah, he was like, you know, you never know when someone that you love is just not going to come back. So he actually took a moment. I think it was a 10-second moment of silence. He's like, I just want you to like not to think about sad things. Just think about the people you love for just a few seconds. And apparently, like he was wearing a ribbon, and I think the members of Noise Complaint, I don't remember, but there were other people all on stage, and they were wearing ribbons in honor of her. And so yeah, like the fact that my friends and I were talking afterwards, we were like, yes, like we knew this happened in Florida, but sometimes you forget just how close to home. Like here we are in Pensacola at a nerd convention, and you know, there's someone here who was affected by that. So it was definitely very heartbreaking, but it was also very moving to see you just like you in that moment of just whenever he was talking about it, you could feel this sense of community within the theater for just like even just that short brief amount of time.
I mean, one last thing for me is when you were saying that, kind of hit me. You know, sometimes doing that's not the easiest thing to do.
No,
I mean, you know, especially dealing with that, being real, like being real, that's the hardest thing ever. And you might not have the right words to say, but sometimes silence does speak volumes, and just being there for that person to just talk
being
to.
in the ear to listen.
Because I know when my parents went through the divorce, I mean, I was embarrassed. I felt like it was my fault, like all that stuff. And I remember Brett was over at my house, and like mom and dad got in an argument, and like, I mean, I was just embarrassed. I went to my room, shut the door. I said, man, I'll see you later. Brett came into my room, put his arm around me, and he just sat there. Didn't say anything. And, I mean, it did help.
Yeah.
So.
My last thing is we actually played American Elegy this year. We played it for MPA. And if you don't know what American Elegy is, it's a piece by Frank DeKelly. And it was actually commissioned in memory of all the students that lost their lives at the Columbine shooting back in the 90s. And we started playing this. We played it some last year, and then we, you know, chose to play it this year. Like the students really wanted to play it. And, you know, every now and then I would remind them what we're trying to convey and everything. And the incident happened, the attack happened the 14th. The following week we had Fine Arts Day at school, which everybody in the school sits down and everything. And I made the choice to play American Elegy for the school. And like, I've been at the school for 3 years, very loud. They don't take the arts as seriously as some people do. But I explained, you know, what the song was about, and I told him, I was like, this is a 10-minute piece. I was like, I don't want you to speak. I don't want you to talk. I want you to think about love and hope. I didn't hear anybody that 10 minutes talk.
Powerful stuff. I mean, I remember, you know, the song well, and just even the little bit I got to direct it just made me feel, you know, like a peace and like a remembrance. Because I mean, I remember Columbine, and
we grew up with it. And I think the most impressive, like with them being quiet, the band was crying, I was crying, there were people in the audience crying. So what we're trying to get at is, if you see somebody that's hurting, be there for them, show them love, even if you don't like them. Show them love, because that's when they need it the most. Exactly. They don't need ridicule. They don't need somebody to put them down. They need someone to just show them that, hey, you're a human being and you're awesome.
Don't wait until you see someone hurting. I mean, just like when you see someone in the hall, just be like, oh, I like your shirt, or that, you know, that's a cool hairstyle you have. Like, just the smallest compliment can make anybody feel better, you know.
Don't forget, Nerd Cave loves you.
Yes. All right, everybody. There it is, episode 244.
Yep.
In the books. We'll come back to you next week with more. We'll have Nerd Cave Plus this week and some Nerd Cave Dragons.
Yep.
So we hope that you enjoyed the show. If you did, please give us a thumb up, share all of this stuff. Go over to podcast services around the world, subscribe, rate us, and all that good stuff. This has been Zach.
Robbie.
And Allie.
Have a week.